Good evening, wrestling fans. We're your hosts, Lewis
and Jaden, and this is Evolution of Pro Wrestling.
Welcome back, fans, to another edition of Evolution of Pro Wrestling. We got a great topic for you today. It's one you definitely going to want to tune in. But before we continue with that, from the Evolution family, we would like to give our condolences and prayers to the family of Ashley Massaro. She passed away yesterday morning. Excellent diva, excellent women's superstar. And I'm sure she's going to be sadly missed for this in this era of professional wrestling. So our prayers go out to her and her family. Today's topic, Money in the Bank special.
Oh, yeah.
This Sunday, Jaden, Money in the Bank is going to be an excellent card. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show.
Yep.
Today, we're going to talk about the history of the Money in the Bank. Where it started, who won the first Money in the Bank, who cashed in the Money in the Bank, who we thought should have won the Money in the Bank, who we didn't want to win the Money in the Bank, and so much more.
See, that's what makes this show so spectacular, because the Money in the Bank is one of those type of pay-per-views that gets the people out of their seat, that makes everyone go crazy, because just like WrestleMania, you never know what's going to happen, especially since it's called Money in the Bank, which has to do with ladders, climbing up a ladder, getting the briefcase or a title, anything. So it's absolutely interesting, especially the way the wrestlers use ladders and other weapons in that match.
No, of course.
Or just general.
No, absolutely. And when you're fighting for the Money in the Bank, you're pretty much fighting for a title opportunity.
Yep.
Whether it's SmackDown, Raw, men or women, they're both fighting for that contract because a lot of people want to get that brass ring and win that either WWE title or Universal title or Women's Championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's go back to the first ever Money in the Bank, which was at WrestleMania 21 when Edge first won that Money in the Bank, which was filled of major superstars like Edge, Chris Jericho, Kane, and a lot of other superstars. You know what I mean? And that was a fierce battle when it came to the Money in the Bank. So when you talk about the Money in the Bank, what do you think it takes to win the Money in the Bank?
I think it takes a lot of blood and sweat, because the Money in the Bank is not only trying to get yourself a title shot, but it's putting your body on the line, because you're going through tables, ladders, you're just going through anything possible by your opponent. The objective in the Money in the Bank is to climb up a ladder, to get a briefcase, a title, anything. Well, yeah, a briefcase, but basically the main objective for all the other wrestlers is to get your opponent down on the ground, or just to get your opponent somewhere not
away
to the ring.
Exactly, away from the ladders, because it's every man for themselves when it comes to that. We've seen matches in Money in the Bank that have been phenomenal. One of them that we've seen was when RVD won it in 2006. Now, when Edge won his first Money in the Bank briefcase, he actually won it at WrestleMania 21, then cashed it in on John Cena at Elimination Chamber and New Year's Resolution. Nobody thought that was going to happen. So to see that is what revolutionized the Money in the Bank. And not only did Edge cash it in on John Cena, he also cashed it in on The Undertaker. Which was surprising that he was on SmackDown when Undertaker was still the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
So, and that's because Edge beat Mr. Kennedy for the briefcase, because they had a match. Mr. Kennedy won the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2007. But then Edge didn't really think that he was Money in the Bank caliber. And he said, okay, I'm going to take this briefcase away from you. And he eventually did. And then you got the likes, and John Cena not only lost the title once to Edge, he lost the title to Rob Van Dam. And we just mentioned Rob Van Dam in 2006. But Rob Van Dam actually told John Cena, I'm not going to cash it in. I'm going to give my briefcase right there to the referee. We're going to have a contract signing. In one night stand, we're going to fight for the title. And that's what happened. We're going to fight for the title. We're going to pretty much do battle in my hometown. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the Money in the Bank, and this goes for women and the men, the Money in the Bank can make you or break you.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to that contract. You also have a Money in the Bank cash-in that made CM Punk's career go to new heights. He won it in 2008 and he won it in 2009. He actually won it against Edge on Monday Night Raw. He cashed it. That's when Edge was drafted to SmackDown. But he thought he was going to SmackDown with the World Heavyweight title, and Batista came out and just tore him apart. Next thing you know, he came out, after the beating he got from Batista, he came out and cashed it in Monday Night Raw. Then he did it again to Edge at Extreme Rules. After Edge went through a grueling match, he ended up doing it again anyway. It's all about the opportunity. You need to know when to strike when it comes to the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah.
When do you think is the right time for a person to cash in the Money in the Bank?
I think the right time is when their opponent's down and real hurt, which is most likely to happen when there's a match that's not scheduled for one fall. Now, certain times, opponents can have that grueling match that is just a scheduled for one fall match. But I absolutely think that your opponent should be like very hurt to the point where they can barely defend themselves anymore, because it gives an opportunity for an easy win for the title if the opponent's that weak. But some opponents also like challengers too. So at the same time, some opponents their Money in the Bank champions to be high and like super energetic. Some of them like them
so
you
think it's easier for them to catch a superstar after they're winning the match?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people agree with that. Some people don't. Some people agree, okay, let's make this a match. Let's do it the right way. Do it the professional way. Go in, be a man, cash the money in the bank. Same thing with the women. Women will come out and cash it. You know, women have cashed the Money in the Bank several times. The first ever Money in the Bank for the women's wrestling was pretty good. You know, it was at most.
If I'm not mistaken, Carmella won that one.
Yes,
right?
Carmella did win the first ever women's Money in the Bank. You know, and some Money in the Bank's cash-ins are successful, some fail, which we're going to get to that momentarily. You also have certain cash-ins that actually do work. For an example, you got in 2010, Jack Swagger. He won the Money in the Bank in 2010 at WrestleMania, ended up cashing it on SmackDown against Chris Jericho, which not too many people thought that Jack Swagger was going to become heavyweight champion. But he was a fighting champion, he was a fighting heavyweight champion, and it was good. So when it comes to certain athletes of cashing in Money in the Bank, some people don't think they should have won it. My personal opinion, I was glad Jack Swagger won it. I think they could have kept the title on him a little longer and make him be more of a fighting champion. But, you know, not everybody thinks the same.
Now, going back to fighting champions, this Money in the Bank cash-in, like, I'm pretty sure it surprised everyone because they didn't know he was going to win this. And they didn't think he was going to win this when Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
Well, he was the first ever superstar to cash in at his Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which, as you said, everybody surprised everybody. Everybody thought that Roman Reigns was going to win the World Heavyweight title. And surprisingly, Seth Rollins came out at the right opportunity when both men were down, and he took it. That's the shocker of the Money in the Bank contract. You can use it anytime you want. For one whole year, you can use that Money in the Bank contract. And people fail to understand that, we got SmackDown and we got Raw that are winning the contracts. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to use it just for SmackDown. No, they can use that Money in the Bank to go to Raw, or the Raw Money in the Bank winner can go to SmackDown and try to win the WWE Championship. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to determine who's going to cash in and where, because the Money in the Bank briefcase is unpredictable. You know what I mean? And one bad cash in that I thought they could have gave him the title, because he went through all that trouble to win the Money in the Bank. Damien Sandow, he won it in 2013. He gave his all. Why not give the man the title? give the man the title. Give him the opportunity to win that title. You know what I mean? But they never did. They never gave him that opportunity, and it was a shame. They just pissed away his career. Unfortunately, if you excuse my French, the man has good talent, but they screwed up. Now he's no longer in WWE, but I think they could have gave him that title, in my opinion.
I mean, another one I don't like is when Sheamus cashed in his Money in the Bank against.
Yeah, I didn't like that against Roman Reigns. That's Survivor
Honestly,
Series. I didn't really like that one because Roman Reigns had just finished fighting a grueling battle, his first ever world title, and then they just take it away from him. Even though he did win it back, I'm not gonna lie, he did win it back again on Monday Night Raw, but still, you rained it on the man's parade. He won his first title, then you cash it in. That goes to show how much of a businessman Roman Reigns is.
Honestly, I think Sheamus could have won a title without the Money in the Bank. Now, I'm not going to lie. He did go through some tough times in that Money in the Bank match, but I still feel like Sheamus could be better off without a title. So that's why with the title without the briefcase, sorry. So that's why I don't really like that cash in so much.
Yeah, it wasn't a good cash in. But the cash in that surprised me the most, the one that won the Money in the Bank the most, was The Miz. There was a lot of people in this industry that doubted The Miz through his entire career. Why? Because the man came from this so-called show, The Real World of MTV, that not many people saw him as paying his dues in the wrestling business. Not too many people saw him, this guy can't be a superstar. He proved a lot of people wrong. He came into the industry and did what he had to do. Won the Money in the Bank, and then beat Randy Orton successfully on Monday Night Raw and took the title. And defended it as a fighting champion, which surprised a lot of people. He beat some excellent talent, and it was tough to see that people didn't have that faith in him, but eventually he got through to it. And with a guy like Alex Riley by his side at the time, Alex Riley was his confidant and helped him out and really helped him keep that title, which Alex Riley was also a good athlete with him, is what made it more exciting. You also got guys like Alberto Del Rio and Daniel Bryan, who won the Money in the Bank in 2011. Alberto Del Rio cashed in the SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan cashed in that same day against The Big Show. Actually, no, I'm lying. On TLC against The Big Show. Won the title. Not so many people thought he was going to win that because he was such a small guy. He pretty much pinned The Big Show in 10 seconds. And a lot of people were like, wow, 10 seconds, that's pretty, it's pretty quick. So.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Kane won the Money in the Bank title, not only won the Money in the Bank title, but cashed it in the same day
exactly.
He won the Money in the Bank title.
And that's when Rey Mysterio was the World Heavyweight Champion. And he took Rey Mysterio's World Heavyweight Championship, which a lot of people weren't expecting. And Kane, surprisingly, was a fighting champion.
Yeah.
He even beat his own brother, The Undertaker, twice. One in a Hell in a Cell. And I forgot what was the other challenge that they had.
Was it a buried alive?
I think it was a buried alive match, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But Kane was a pretty good fighting champion at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as we mentioned, we talked about surprising cash-ins and cash-ins that actually been successful. Let's go to the ones that haven't been successful. We mentioned Damien Sandow. Baron Corbin wasn't a good one. He won the Money in the Bank in 2017. And he ended up losing. He tried to challenge John Cena. He tried to challenge the champion. Not even John Cena. I'm sorry, Jinder Mahal. And it just didn't work. And then you have John Cena that won the Money in the Bank. John Cena wanted to be this fighting person. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a man and just cash it in right there. Here, we're gonna go to bout. He didn't win. No, but having him winning the Money in the Bank to me was a mistake.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought he was gonna win that because they know everyone is John Cena, hustle, loyalty, respect, like.
Yeah, but
so that's probably why they thought he was gonna win.
Yeah, but it still was a mistake.
Yeah.
Keep John Cena.
I agree.
Keep John Cena in his element. Don't bring him into the Money in the Bank. That's not
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank is for people that actually are well, not to say are most high flyers, but that want to go the distance and go for that brass ring. John Cena's a 16-time
John Cena's
heavyweight
already
champion.
did that. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's already did that.
Another bad cash in, which I think he should have not won the Money in the Bank. I'd rather have see them put the title on him. Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
I don't see why they had Braun Strowman win the Money in the Bank in 2018. They should have just handed that man the title. As many times they kept pushing him. Give the man the title. What's the problem? Like, everybody's waiting for Vince McMahon and the WWE to put that title on, put some title on this man. You only give him the tag team title. Put something on him. You know, and then you let him win the Money in the Bank. And then don't even let him win the title. That was dumb.
Like, that's a great example. Just like how Alexa Bliss cashed in her Money in the Bank and Nia Jax. I did not like that Money in the Bank cash in at all. And I'm pretty sure a lot of fans in the WWE universe did not like that. Because, to be absolutely honest, Nia Jax was a fighting champion, and she did try her best to keep that title.
Well, in all due respect, Jaden, when it comes to Nia Jax, I'm not knocking her talent, but as far as being a champion, I don't think she was able to grab that brass ring like every other.
At that time she did deserve it because she
fought.
She did deserve that.
Don't get me wrong. She deserved that title. She won it at WrestleMania. That was fine, and I give her much respect for that. But when it comes down to it, you got to bring whatever catches the attention of the fans. That's what you have to do. And that's what the fans wanted to do. They wanted to see Alexa Bliss against Ronda Rousey, and that's why Alexa Bliss cashed in that Money in the Bank, and that's why she ended up taking it.
I mean, what I do agree with is that Nia Jax wasn't going with that brass ring, but they could have let her keep the title at least a little bit longer.
Of course. They could have.
At least a little bit longer.
They could have, but apparently they took the title off of her quick. They probably thought she wasn't suitable for it. You know, but if you had a chance to say your favorite cash-in at the Money in the Bank at any time, which one would you have choose out of all those Money in the Bank winners?
It would be absolutely Seth Rollins cashes in his Money in the Bank on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And now I don't know if that's ever been done in history when you cash in your Money in the Bank on two people. That's like absolutely amazing, especially since one is the big dog and it's all about the spears, and the other one is just Suplex City. So either way, you're going in the ring with two power monsters, which is really petrifying to go in since you're like a high flyer and you haven't been a WWE champion yet. So you really don't know what is going to happen. So I absolutely think that was a really shocking moment and a really great moment of the WWE.
Well, that was well said, Jaden. That's good. Me personally, my favorite was Dean Ambrose when he cashed in on Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
For the simple fact that when it comes to the Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose has always wanted to become the World Heavyweight Champion. And for him to actually achieve that dream finally, and doing it against someone that he was close to, well, in the storyline, that's his enemy, but in the actual show, in actual life, they're very close friends, and I know he was ecstatic when he won that WWE Championship. His brothers were ecstatic, and he finally had made it. That's pretty much what happened. He says, dang it, I made it, I did it, I finally won the World Heavyweight title. Now it's time for me to go a step further and be a defending champion.
That I can say, Dean Ambrose was a fighting champion.
Absolutely.
Dean Ambrose did anything in his power and will to keep that title.
Absolutely.
He fought hard. He sweated blood and tears. He did everything he could just to keep that title around his waist.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the Money in the Bank so special. That if you win that title, whether it's WWE or Universal WWE title or Universal Champion, then that's what's going to make it even better. You know what I mean? So we got this Sunday's Money in the Bank coming. We're hearing this is going to be probably one of the best Money in the Banks ever. You know what I mean? Right now, we're actually going to discuss that card. And we're going to have our opinions, Jaden, our predictions. We might disagree. We might agree. But let's go for it. Fans, I hope you're ready because we're about to go into that right now. We're going to start off every pay-per-view has their kickoff show. To me, this kickoff match is actually going to be pretty good. You have the Usos versus Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. This combination of Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan has actually been a good combination, especially now that they have become the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions.
I don't like it.
Now, in your opinion, Jaden, who do you think is going to take this match?
Now, we're basically talking about one of the two top heels in this industry right now. But the Usos are one of the greatest tag team champions, and they were reigning, defending tag team champions. They were fighting champions, so...
Well, they are known as probably the best tag team on SmackDown history.
Yeah, so I absolutely think that this is going to be a nail-biter. So I can't really decide who's going to win, but in my predictions, I think the Usos are going to take it.
I would actually have to agree with you. The Usos, they lost to them, a couple of weeks ago, with the titles. But I think the Usos are going to come back strong this time. So it's going to be pretty interesting for that.
But I picked the Usos because the Usos always have a plan when they lose.
No, absolutely.
Every time, when the Usos lose, they always find something new to do. They always find a way to get their titles back. That's exactly why I predict the Usos are going to win.
No, absolutely. So, but as you said, it's going to be a nail biter. So it's one a lot of fans are probably going to be looking forward to.
Yep.
Next match, you have Samoa Joe against Rey Mysterio, United States Championship.
Ooh.
Rey Mysterio has always been the underdog. You know that. But in this particular match, a lot of people are stating that he is the favorite to win this battle.
I agree.
And I would have to say, after the loss he had at WrestleMania to Samoa Joe, I think he's coming for vengeance. I would have to say I'm going to give this to Rey Mysterio.
I agree.
Okay? We both agree, and that's the prediction we're sticking with for Rey Mysterio. Now we got my wife's personal favorite, Roman Reigns, against Elias.
I know I'm going to regret saying this, but I have to go with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he just had a battle with leukemia, but...
Yeah, but let's forget about the leukemia.
Okay.
Let's see that he has come back strong.
He's back, so
he's come back with a vengeance. The big dog has come back to clean his yard. You know what I mean? But I think Elias is going to give him a fight that he ain't never going to forget.
No. Elias...
Excuse me. I'm not saying Elias is going to win, but I think it's going to be a pretty good match.
I don't think so.
We'll see how that's going to go.
I honestly think Roman Reigns is going to take that match easy because I think there's better opponents out there for Roman Reigns. So
okay, that's fine. And we'll see when it comes down to the pay-per-view. Next match, The Miz versus Shane McMahon. This rivalry has been going back since WrestleMania. Now they're finally going to settle it in a steel cage. The courtyard of wrestling. That's the most demonic structure that you can find when it comes to wrestling. My prediction, I would have to say The Miz. The Miz is out for vengeance. The Miz is out to get Shane McMahon for what he's done all this time to his father.
I mean, Shane McMahon is practically a high flyer. Shane McMahon does crazy stuff when it comes to matches like this.
No, absolutely. So
Miz is not really about that. Miz has had matches like this. Miz is basically like a cheater. He finds creative ways to get his opponent down, but there's something that I've seen in Miz like recently in SmackDown.
His new aggression.
His new aggression. Miz was upset, like all the things he's done to his father. So I think Miz is gonna take this one.
Okay.
Since Miz has this new attitude that makes him super angry and is bringing all the madness out of him. So I absolutely think Miz is gonna
take it. Okay. Yeah. Now we're gonna go into an interesting one. The women's double championship match. Becky Lynch is gonna be defending her titles twice. She's gonna be going up against Charlotte Flair and then Lacey Evans. I still think Becky Lynch is gonna take this match, both of them. Because Charlotte Flair, I'm not taking anything away from Charlotte Flair. She is the queen of wrestling. She's a multi-champion. But Becky Lynch, she's at the peak of her career right now. And I think she's going to take both matches. Lacey Evans, she's giving her a battle. But I think she's going to come out victorious with both titles.
I mean, I think there's two sides to what I have to say for this. Now, I think Becky Lynch is gonna take the win with Lacey Evans, but when it comes to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair has been a champion multiple times. So she knows what it feels like, and she knows what it feels like to be the champion. She knows what it feels like to be a champion. Becky Lynch is holding 2 titles right now, SmackDown and Raw. So I feel like Charlotte Flair has a little advantage because she's going to have a match that same day, and God knows what's going to happen in that first match with her and Lacey Evans. So, honestly, I don't know who I'm going to give
It's gonna be unpredictable. It's going to be a nail-biter.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's go into the women's Money in the Bank. That's going to be an interesting
I'm ready
match
to see
because now, unfortunately, Alexa Bliss has been replaced by Nikki Cross because, unfortunately, she received a concussion. She was not cleared to compete. So now it's going to be Nikki Cross, Bayley, Natalya, Naomi, Carmella, Donna Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Amber Moon. My pick is going to surprise everybody, but I think that she is going to win. I think Mandy Rose is going to win that Money in the Bank. Because she's been kind of on a hot streak lately.
I mean,
and she's looking to get that brass ring and get that contract.
I mean, I agree, but I have 3 picks. I have Naomi. Surprisingly, Nikki Cross. I think she's gonna win that, even though she's like a starter still. But hey, it's whatever.
Well,
Mandy Rose. But hey, just like I said earlier, the Money in the Bank is full of surprises.
Exactly.
So we don't know what's gonna
unpredictable.
happen.
Anyone can win that in the women's division.
And Nikki Cross.
And they all hungry for it. And not for nothing, I'm looking forward to seeing this match. Because these women can really steal the show with this Money in the Bank.
But the person I'm looking forward to seeing in that match is Nikki Cross. Because I'm looking forward to seeing Nikki Cross with all those people inside of the ring. And her using all those weapons and ladders. Especially since that lady's loco. She's insane. So I'm looking forward to her using those demonic structures and stuff. And beating down those ladies.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, well, we're looking forward to that too. So, and then you also have the men's Money in the Bank. You have Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Randy Orton, Andrade, and Ali. A list full of excellent talent, which is going to go far beyond what we're going to expect. My personal pick for that match it would have to be Andrade. For the simple fact, he has come to SmackDown, he has made a name for himself, and is looking to get that contract and really do something. But a lot of people are looking at Ricochet. Ricochet is one to be reckoned with too.
I mean, we can't forget about Finn Balor.
No, absolutely not.
I am looking forward to seeing these guys wrestle, especially since the funny thing about it is that that's a match full of high flyers. Now, some of them aren't high flyers, but at least like 50 or 60% of that match is a bunch of high flyers. And when it comes to high flyers in the Money in the Bank match, those guys do millions of things that you never think is possible.
And it's good because the fans like that.
Yeah.
So that's something we're looking forward to. So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that this Sunday. Now you have the 2 final matches. Kevin Owens against Kofi Kingston. Kevin Owens ended up turning heel, turned on the New Day, turned on Kofi. Kofi's going to win this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kofi is not going to let this man... To me, no disrespect Kevin Owens, but Daniel Bryan was a better athlete and is the better athlete. So, I got to give this one to Kofi Kingston.
I mean, Kofi Kingston just got his title. Kofi Kingston is doing much better than what we all thought. So, yeah, I in no doubt, in no shape or form, Kofi Kingston is going to lose. So, I absolutely think Kofi Kingston is going to take this win.
Absolutely. Then you got the Universal Championship match. Seth Rollins and AJ Styles.
Ooh, my.
First time ever these two are going at it. This one, honestly, Jaden, I can't give a prediction.
I can't either.
Because these two are phenomenal athletes that transcended this business to what it is today.
I got a bunch to say about
like,
those
it's like, I don't understand. It's one that it's unbelievable that we're excited to see.
Now, getting on Seth Rollins' side, Seth Rollins has had experience on both Raw and SmackDown. So he kind of knows the SmackDown lingo, what happens in SmackDown, what goes on. He's also been on Raw, so he also knows that there's a lot of tough guys on Raw and there's a lot of tough guys on SmackDown. Same thing for AJ Styles. AJ Styles is new to Raw. He's a new face, but hey, AJ Styles could take anything. AJ Styles is used to SmackDown, so he knows everything that goes on at SmackDown. Now, we're going against one of the two best wrestlers that ascended the company as how it is today. So I honestly think these two wrestlers are gonna, oh my jeez. Like, I just think these wrestlers are gonna put on an excellent show.
Of course, and we're definitely looking forward to it.
I am looking absolutely forward to seeing that match.
Of course. So, fans, that's our time here today. Tune in to this Sunday. This Money in the Bank is something you are not going to want to miss. Tune in next week. We're going to have our topic that is so much of a debate that is finally going to come to head. Who was the greatest superstar of all time? Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan? That's the topic we're going to have for next week. If you want to hear about that, it's only one way to find out. Tune in next week. Let us know your questions, comments, and topics. Email us at evolutionofprowrestling@gmail.com. Subscribe on our YouTube channel at Evolution of Pro Wrestling, as well as Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for watching, fans. Have a good night.